Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everybody. I would like to say thank you for coming to my presentation and honor to meet you here. So okay, let me introduce myself first. My name is Shiva Sonia from class B. So Mr. Andre and my friends, in this presentation I will discuss about perception and metamodel, and hopefully it will help to increase your knowledge about translating cultures. And then I'm sorry, I don't know why kenapa judulnya jadi warna putih padahal di PPT aslinya berwarna hitam, jadi ini nggak kelihatan judulnya apa. So for information, I will present the important parts of the material and will explain the material according to my understanding. If you want to read the material in more detail, you can open the chapter report that I have shared on WhatsApp group. Okay, metamodel by Bandler and Grinder is a model to explain systematically how the therapists use language to enlarge their client's perception of reality and how their client equally use language to limit perception. Multicultural communication also involves change and requires a wider perception of reality. Those who require the service of translators and interpreters will need mediators who can, like therapists, assist them in assimilating discourse, spoken or written, from within another context of situation and culture. Human representation, like cartographic representation, will always be a scaled-down model of reality, and so the model of the world, like any other model, involves three necessary and basic changes. Yang pertama, generalization, distortion, deletion. Apart from different individual and culture-bound ways of perceiving, human perception itself distorts and deletes much of what objectively exists in the outside world. Jadi nanti akan dibahas, ini direkam belum sih? Oh udah. Jadi nanti akan dibahas satu persatu ya. Nah di sini ada Hofstede perception filters, nanti akan dibahas di slide selanjutnya. Oke, yang pertama ada filters. Psychological. The first level of filter is universal. Our only contact with the outside world is through the way we interpret information relayed by our sense. Our hearing is equally limited. Our ears don't hear sound above 2000 syllables per second, but dogs' ears, for example, can. The human world of hearing and vision is a constant limitation. So, as members of the human race, we all select the same limited reality. Number two, there is socialization or culture. Assessing everything that is perceivable would lead to severe mental overload. Each community of practice or culture will have a different impression of the same forest because they will select to see, hear, and feel different aspects of it according to perceived relevance, which may have little to do with the present environment. This selection is the result of socialization or enculturation, that is the informal teaching and learning. A person goes through to become a member of their culture, society, or group. Following Confucius, we may say that we are all born similar but learn to be different and to respond differently to the same reality. Nomor 3, individual. Constraints depend on the genetic framework we were born with as well as our own unique personal history. In the nature controversy, both are seen here to affect perception. Even identical twins growing up in the same family, we have their own identity and their own individual reaction to the same environment. Language. However, it's also through language that we hear and learn about the world. As Holiday explained, language itself constructs reality. So, in communicating our understanding of the world, a further filter, language, constraints, and distorts reality. Jadi, filters ini mengacu pada pengaruh-pengaruh yang mempengaruhi pemahaman dan interpretasi seseorang terhadap teks atau budaya yang sedang diterjemahkan. Nah, si filters ini bisa berupa pengalaman pribadi atau pengetahuan sebelumnya, terus juga misalkan keyakinan, nilai-nilai, dan asumsi yang dimiliki oleh penerjemah atau pembaca. Jadi si filters ini dapat mempengaruhi cara seseorang memahami dan mentransfer pesan budaya. Number 2, expectation and mental image. Now we have already consider the principle of categorization, and then here we will focus on how much we depend on making use of our own internal categorization rather than actually listening to what we hear or reading what we see. Experimental evidence to demonstrate this can be found in research carried out by psychologists. One of the first significant results came from the work of the American psychologists Carl Michael, Hogan, and Walter. They conducted an experiment with what they called stimulus figures to judge the effect of language on visually perceived form. As our understanding of the world depends on a various construction of a suitable mental image, it's consequently very difficult to be objective about reality or to state what is actually objectively and intrinsically true out there. This is particularly evident when we find ourselves in a new situation. As Lakoff and Johnson state, truth is relative to understanding, and the truth of a sentence is relative to the normal way we understand the world by projecting orientation and entity structure onto it. Nah, jadi expectation and mental image ya, itu mengacu pada harapan, expectation, harapan, dan mental image, gambaran mental yang dimiliki oleh penerjemah atau pembaca terhadap suatu teks atau budaya yang sedang diterjemahkan. Nah, dalam konteks penerjemah budaya, pemahaman yang akurat tentang harapan dan gambaran mental yang dimiliki oleh seorang penerjemah atau pembaca sangat penting. Kenapa sangat penting? Karena harapan dan gambaran mental bisa mempengaruhi cara penerjemah memahami dan mentransfer pesan budaya dari satu bahasa ke bahasa lain. Seperti itu. Nomor 3, the meta model. Modeling, as Margaret Berry states in an introduction to systemic linguistics, is an important tool in linguistics and is also central to systemic. In the same way, an old story has it that when the map makers tried to show the king his territory on a map, the king was not satisfied, tidak merasa puas. Ya, ketika ditunjukkan petanya tidak merasa puas. He wanted a better map. Si kingnya ini, si rajanya ingin map yang lebih baik. And then the map makers continue to improve their map, but to not avail as it still did not contain everything on it. At this point, the building that housed the map was simply not large enough. Eventually, the walls of the map institute were taken down to allow space for all the detail. Finally, of course, the map was so detailed that it could not be seen. It was indistinguishable from the territory it was mapping. So, for a map or a model to be useful, it must generalize, distort, and delete much of what is real. Nanti akan dibahas ya, satu persatu. Okay, and then Bendler and Grinder suggest this is central to the way humans perceive, interpret, and communication. Bendler and Grinder have made this process of simplification explicit through another model, which they termed the meta model. It identifies those language patterns which are generalization, distortion, and deletion. That is simplistic models of meaning, and then clarifies the shorthand we use to communicate. The meta model also checks for where simplistic communication obscures meaning and includes specific question to clarify and challenge imprecise language. Nah, kalau misalkan si meta model ini, the meta model, jadi kerangka kerja yang digunakan untuk menganalisis dan memahami perbedaan antara teks asli dan teks terjemahan. Melalui si the meta model, penerjemah bisa mengidentifikasi aspek-aspek yang hilang, dihapus, atau diubah dalam proses penerjemahan. Hal ini bisa membantu seorang penerjemah untuk memahami dan mengatasi tantangan dalam mentransfer pesan budaya dengan akurat, seperti seorang mapmakers ini. Jadi kan si mapmaker ini dibuat sedetail mungkin, gimana caranya kan secara logika gitu. Gimana caranya si seluruh itu harus masuk di maps ini gitu. Makanya kenapa tadi si maps seekingnya ini ingin map yang lebih baik. Begitu pula ketika kita akan menerjemahkan sesuatu. Selanjutnya, generalization. Holiday made the point that our experience is in fact organized on many levels at once, and we abstract from it a lot of different layers of generalization. Generalization occurs when one example is taken as representative of a number of different possibilities. For example, an utterance such as cats are nice will be the result of specific learning or experience relating possibly to a reaction to a particular cat at a particular time. This experience is then expanded to the level of the universe. The less positive aspect of generalization is that it limits the model of the world. It relies on what was previously learned as representing reality and thus reduce choice and any possibility of an alternative. Cats are not nice, for example, shuts the door on any new cat. A woman will exhibit a very different behavior. Jadi generalization ini proses di mana si penerjemah atau pembaca cenderung membuat kesimpulan umum atau menyederhanakan informasi yang diterima. Nah, hal ini dapat terjadi karena keterbatasan pemahaman dari seorang penerjemah itu atau untuk memudahkan pemahaman. Begitu. Tapi generalisasi ini bisa menghilangkan nuansa dan kompleksitas pesan budaya yang sebenarnya. Oke. Kelima, dilation. Yang pertama ada modality unspecific referential index, value judgment, comparatives, and superlatives. Yang terakhir stance adjuncts. Yang pertama modality. According to Downing and Locke, modality is one of the most important ways in which interpersonal meaning can be expressed. It's the expression of an attitude of the speaker towards a reality. Modality is said to express a relation to reality, whereas an unmodelized declarative treats the process as reality. Nomor 2, the specific referential indices have been deleted and we are left with example of universal perception and generalization. The context here, both linguistic and extra-linguistic, points to more specific referential indices. Nomor 3, value judgment. Value judgment are opinions, subjective assessment based on values rather than facts based on objective evidence. Nomor 4, comparatives and superlatives. Any sentence that use comparatives or superlatives without stating in comparison to what is stating some information from the surface representation. Yang terakhir ada stance adjuncts. Nah, kalau si deletion ini kan delete dari arti delete gitu ya, dari kata delete gitu, dihapus. Jadi merujuk pada proses di mana beberapa informasi atau detail dihilangkan atau diabaikan dalam proses penerjemahan atau komunikasi lintas budaya. Nah, hal ini dapat terjadi karena keterbatasan waktu, ruang, dan pemahaman yang tidak lengkap. Deletion juga dapat mempengaruhi akurasi dan kelengkapan pesan budaya yang ditransfer, seperti tadi analogi map makers di atas. Nomor 6, distortion. Both generalization and deletion distort reality in the sense that what is said reduces the detail, making it progressively more difficult to connect to the full representation or specific frame. The following section instead focuses on language that actually distorts or transforms what is real or objectively variable. The reader or listener in this case is led to a different though equally specific frame of reference. We have already mentioned the human need to make sense of the world, and one way in which this is done is to distort it to fit our preconception. Yang pertama ada nominalization. Jadi according to Downing and Locke, nominalization are transformation of verbs, attributes, and circumstance into things or other nouns. Kedua, presupposition are also hidden distortion of reality. Nomor 3, mind reading. Mind reading occurs when someone presumes to know about another person's thought without any object evidence. Number 4, cause and effect. The existence of cause and effect, an agent causing a change, is part of the natural world. In this case, the universal rule is that every action has reaction. Jadi distortion ini merujuk pada perubahan atau penyimpangan yang terjadi dalam proses penerjemahan atau komunikasi lintas budaya. Nah, distorsi dapat terjadi karena perbedaan struktur bahasa, perbedaan budaya, atau kesalahan interpretasi. Nah, yang terakhir, conclusion. Kesimpulannya, translators and interpreters must understand the differences in cultural perception between the source language and the target language. Different perception can influence the understanding and interpretation of translated text. Nomor 2, translators and interpreters need to consider the cultural context in the translation process. A cultural context can influence the meaning and nuances contained in the text. Terakhir, Translators and interpreters must be sensitive to the differences in metamodels between the source language and the target language. Metamodels refer to the language structure and ways of thinking that underlie a particular language. Understanding these differences can help translators and interpreters avoid misinterpretation. Alhamdulillahirrabbilalamin. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Please forgive if there are mistakes. I hope what I have shared will be beneficial for all of us. Amin ya rabbal alamin. Guys, you can free to interrupt me if you have something to ask. Okay? Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.